Welcome back to Good Better Broker at UWM Live 2024. As we bring in Adriana Bates, she is a mortgage broker with Clear Mortgage based in Kansas City. Adriana, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Justin. Man, look at these people all taking pictures of you while we're recording.
No,
How many selfies? How many selfies today will you take?
I mean, we took some photos last night. I believe you and I took a photo with some other folks, but
His security would not let me on his stage. So
Listen,
they were like, oh, you're going to have to go down there with the common folk.
Stop
take
playing.
a selfie with Justin.
No, I am honestly in the presence of greatness. That's the true story here.
Everyone that's listening to this podcast will agree to me. We hear your voice for me, I'm Central Time. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyone in the Midwest, Central Time is like, we listen to Justin after we drop our kids off, and then we hear him all the way to the office. And then we base our day based on what you say.
I know, it's a lot of pressure because I get this all the time that, whatever I say around 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, it sets people up for their day. And I feel bad when the market got worse, but obviously I feel great when it's better because that just sets you up for a fantastic day.
You're like, okay, get your locks ready. One day you should be like, it is a fabulous day. Go meditate, go get a cup of coffee, take the day off, grab a drink. Then Ishbia will be like down there and just.
I love the fact that this is our first interview of the day. It's okay. We got a beep button.
Okay.
We're off the rails already. This is our first interview of the day. All right, let's reel it back in.
Go ahead.
About you. 10 plus years in the business. You are Ivy League educated. You went to Brown in Rhode Island.
I did.
College hooper, by the way. You played basketball at Brown.
You should have started with college hooper, and then you could be like
so
D1
to you that's
athlete,
more important.
D1 athlete, and then you could be like in the Ivy League.
Listen,
because then everyone's like, oh, she's D1, but then when you start with the Ivy League, they're like, is that strong basketball?
Listen, we're going to go over to the court after this right next door, and I want to see that jumper. I want to see if it's still any good.
With the nails and all.
All right.
Still got it.
You also have a master's degree, by the way, in urban planning and finance. So now that I have pumped your tires enough, let's talk about business,
He's like,
Adriana.
now let's deflate it.
No,
He's like, pump them up and then let's knock them down.
We're going to talk about social media because you have a very large social media footprint.
Thank you.
But it's not all about likes and clicks and comments. For you, it's all about SEO growth. Tell us about your approach.
So originally it was ego.
Okay.
Originally it was 1,000% ego. I love that. There's nothing better than stranger validation. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I don't know who you are, but you're telling me you love me. Like, it was great. You love it.
Fair point.
Come on, everyone naturally is like, oh.
I mean, it's a dopamine kick, right?
Well,
you'd be lying if you said
everyone.
it wasn't.
Most people in the mortgage industry have a personality trait or traits like mine, so most of us would like that validation. But then you're like, what am I doing all of this for? This is exhausting. Men, you have a little easier. You don't have to prep to go record content. Women, it's a lot of effort for us, and it's effing exhausting. See, I buttoned myself there. It's effing exhausting sometimes. So yes, now we're trending more to okay, what is the purpose of this? How is this driving business? My team is very good about directing where some of the content should go, and is this going to be serving to where we're trying to grow our business?
It's interesting because we were talking on the phone a couple of weeks ago about doing video content, and
yes.
To the point you just made. When you press record on that camera or on your phone, you don't always feel like doing it, right?
Oh my gosh, no. That's the beauty of social media. It might look like, I hope it looks like I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but you're probably the same way, right? Don't you have
100%.
to get in the zone? You probably do box breathing exercises, and you're like, all right, I'm ready. And then you get in it, and it's work. It's work.
I get it. It makes a ton of sense.
You had that dumbfounded look, I do box breathing.
I don't know what box breathing is. I just try to get myself ready to go. So it's interesting. You said your goal when you first started doing social content was not to go viral. So what is your goal, Adriana?
No. When I first started doing content, I wanted to go viral.
All right. So now you're not trying to go viral.
I'm not necessarily.
What are you trying to do now?
Now, although I would love to go viral, so the universe out there, don't take that away from me. If I have a viral video, I would love that. Now, like I mentioned briefly, it's a little bit more strategic. I do feel like some of these viral videos are very trendy. They're more entertainment. But as you kind of back into SEO and as you start to understand what does bring visibility to your business, it's not those viral videos that do that. It is keyword content search. It is what are people looking for as far as topics. It's more educational content, which to me is boring. But to others that are possibly looking to us for guidance and for advice in our industry, it's helpful.
You know as well as I do that when we have our phones, you can get that social content instantly, right? It's
Sure.
instant gratification. But in terms of results, that is not instant. So tell me, what is the importance of investing in SEO when you're
wish
not
it was.
likely to see those immediate results?
Try having a business partner that doesn't believe in it at all. No, I'm just kidding. Sean, I love you. But so the investment in SEO and in social media is such a long play because it's not something like you can't directly see the ROI. Sometimes you can though, depending on what you create, but you can't directly see the ROI. So it is a long game, and sometimes it's disheartening because you're like, man, I'm pumping in a ton of money. I have this team that's doing this, but you get little bits of validation like, oh, this is working when a real estate agent decides to work with you because of the attempt to build your social media presence, So sometimes you get these like quick hits to be like, yes, it's working. Other times you're like, man, God, just keep doing this because everyone's telling me to do it. I believe in it though, I really do. Yeah.
No, it's obvious that you do. You mentioned your team.
Yes.
Tell us about what your team is doing behind the scenes to help with SEO.
If I could explain everything, I would probably seem like I knew so much more about this and about the tech side of this business. But they're really building strategic plans, realizing what content is landing better with our ideal consumer. So if you haven't identified your ideal avatar, it's probably some work that you need to do there, making sure that everything that we are pushing out is in alignment with that avatar. And then, looking at analytics. I love data, but I don't really understand data as much with the social media piece. So, for example, my team will realize that a piece that we did 2 years ago hit really well. We'll re-record that and then hope it lands again just to kind of compare and then re-drive up some of our visibility in our audience.
That's brilliant. I mean, don't reinvent the wheel, right? If something worked really well once, do it again.
It will work again, yes. And it's proven every time. If you have something that performed really well, re-record it, wear a different outfit, and then get the same results.
All right, I got to ask you about professional versus personal content because a lot of people are hesitant to show what's going on in their life. They just want to keep it all business. How do you approach that?
I hate to even use this word because I feel like it's so overplayed, but the authenticity of you is what people are looking for. We're a commodity, whether we like it or not. So what differentiates us isn't our fees, isn't our rates, isn't the loan process, because gosh, with technology, your loan process better be on point right now. It is truly you, your personality, and my personal content makes me seem like I'm a real human being with feelings, with the same struggles that other people have out there. I'm a female in a female-dominated business as far as the real estate side, male-dominated as far as the finance side. When your primary referral source are other females, we know this, I'm not breaking the news here, but females aren't always very supportive of other females. So the more that I can relate to my referral sources, the better that I'll do in my business. So if they see me struggling with juggling my 3 kids' schedules and barely eating because I'm just downing a protein shake, or when I was young and I had my newborn, I would sometimes always carry an extra blazer because I might have spit up or yogurt or something from breakfast. Just posting that helps my business grow because I'm a real person.
And people can relate to that.
Yes.
Right? If there's a new mom out there who's scrolling social and they see that, they're going to say, I can relate.
My dream would be, but it's so much effort, and I don't necessarily want my marketing team around me all the time as much as people think, would be the real life, day in the life of what we do, from tips and tricks on how to get ready faster, really quick makeup hacks. That's what I do. I'm looking at myself to be like, oh, how's my contour? Could I do that faster? I watch and consume content that I can then implement in my day-to-day business. I think it would be great content if a female was like, this is how you put together an outfit and look put together and have your hair done and your face on in 30 minutes.
All right, what you just said dovetails into my next question for you, because you said that you're just leading me right there, Adriana. This is great.
I know how this works, Justin.
Your content strategy has evolved over time from what you would personally consume to what your audience is looking for.
Correct.
How'd that happen?
I thought, why not make content that I like to scroll through as I'm laying in bed and, debriefing my day and kind of, blanking out. That isn't our ideal avatar. Our ideal avatar is someone that is looking for information about home financing, that is thinking about pursuing the dream of home ownership or real estate investing. So my ideal avatar is not me. So when I realized that, we then could pivot into making sure that our content is aligned with who we're actually trying to target.
There's so many social content platforms out there. What are you prioritizing?
It's my age. I'm on IG all the time.
Me too.
But I have the TikTok. I feel like TikTok is still a little misdirected for me. I don't think our avatars are really our ideal avatar. I hate using that word so much, but it's true. Like, where are the people that you are trying to target? And mine are not on TikTok a ton. LinkedIn is becoming a really big platform that it's not the recruiting cesspool that we think it is. As mortgage professionals, it is, right? But the people that we are targeting use LinkedIn quite a bit, and they are on that platform. It's also highly, highly unused as far as advertising because it's free right now, so I think that's a great one. Snapchat, I think, is way too young for homeownership, but as that age group kind of matures, I think Snap is going to be a way. Gary Vee says it best: we are day trading attention all the time, so how can we get that attention of the people that we really want to serve?
All right, you bring up Gary Vee. I also want to ask you about Alex Cooper, because you told me that your goal is
like
to
the
be
biggest juxtaposition
listen,
well, maybe not.
We're just going back and forth here.
Exactly.
This is like volleyball. You said you want to be the Alex Cooper of the mortgage industry.
Man, that would be the best content for me as a professional, as a woman. Alex Cooper, now that she's married though, it's a different Alex Cooper. Like, if you listen to pre-marriage, pre-serious relationship Alex Cooper, that's the stuff that I loved. But now, like, the serious, like, oh, I'm matronly now. Alex Cooper is very different, but her content is evolving just like she is. So Alex Cooper brings this authentic sense of self to her guests, and we see a side of them that we never see before. So why not in our industry, like, where we're all high overachievers that are like dealing with childhood trauma by how hard we work and like are addicted to all of these things in our business, looking for those dopamine hits. Like, all of us are truly the same. Like, as I look out at UWM Live, I'm like, we are just dealing with trauma in different ways by becoming workaholics. So put them in the hot seat and like unravel that to be like, what made you, what made you the driver? And like, in our industry, as with any industry, we have the celebrities. Like, wouldn't you really want to know like what makes Ishbia tick? Like, truly, like, and you're like, no. I see it in your face. You're like, no, I don't.
I mean, what if I already know?
You do? You put them in the hot seat?
I'm not going to say that here.
Did you? That would be a really.
I can
good
neither
interview.
confirm nor deny.
Not on Brokers Are Better, but like on one.
I'm sorry. Look at the sign.
Good, Better, Broker.
Thank you.
There's a lot of broker. I know it's behind me. But
I get it. All right.
Didn't it used to be?
Nope. Good, Better, Broker. All right.
Always?
Before I let you go, you're a veteran of the game. You clearly know what you're doing with your social strategy and SEO. What advice would you give somebody who's just starting out in terms of their social content and how they approach SEO?
It's truly about consistency. So figure out who you're trying. Identify who you were trying to hit first and foremost. I wish I would have done that way earlier, not just posted stuff to post stuff. Like, you have to have a direct plan if you want to do it for your business. If you're just doing it for your friends and for social validation, then by all means, just post what you feel like posting. But you truly have to be aligned in your business with your content and be consistent. As much as you don't want to do it, you better put that game face on, figure it out, take a couple breaths, and go record.
Well, I didn't have any doubts, but you truly brought it for us here on Good, Better, Broker. This was a lot of fun.
Slot? It's like so fast. You should have like
done and
guys
done.
Behind the curtain. Give us like an hour.
We'll do this again
Just
sometime.
Kidding. It's got to be for drive time, right?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, listen to the podcast when you're in the car.
Drive time.
Yeah.
It's a good commute link.
Great stuff. Adriana Bates with Clear Mortgage. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Back here on Good, Better, Broker at UWM Live as we bring in Tim Potempa. He is a mortgage broker with the Potempa team, part of eMortgage Capital, and he is in Phoenix, Arizona. Tim, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
So, exciting stuff happening with you and your company. You've spent 20 plus years in the industry. You were the number 7 LO in the entire country, and you very recently made the switch from retail to broker. So I got to ask you first and foremost, what's it been like since you came over to the broker side?
It's been fun. It's been challenging. It's been everything chaos, but it's all been good things. All chaotic, but all good.
Over the course of your career, and I mentioned top 10 originator in the entire country, one of the things that you say is responsible for your success is staying the course. Tell our listeners what that means to you.
Yeah, but when I say stay the course is we really envision being mainly a purchase-driven team. So we stay that course. We obviously handle refinances for past clients and whoever else, but our main bread and butter and what we want to maintain is our purchase business for new home buyers and first-time buyers. So I don't deviate and try to go into the refinance pool all the time. It's just stay the course.
Okay, so how would you explain to somebody who was asking you for the first time, like me, I guess I am asking you for the first time, what's your strategy when it comes to purchase money?
Well, we are huge in marketing, so we do a lot of lead gen and marketing, but we also obviously reach out to our local partners and real estate agents. We've also developed a real estate network throughout the 10 states that we heavily market in with my real estate team through that network. So that allows us to keep boots on the ground even though we're not necessarily there in front of them face to face all the time. So that would be the main strategy that we attack, and then lead gen obviously is a big point for us.
So this singular focus on purchase business, when we spoke previously, you told me that in your opinion in this business, it's more advantageous to be a master of one trade as opposed to a jack of them all. Why?
Well, I think there's just so many coming out here, products and programs and ways to do things, and for me, I want the team and the sales staff to really be amazing at one strategy and have everybody going in one direction instead of 15 different directions. I know there's a lot of people out there, and we handle all types of loans, but I think our focus needs to be on what we do well and then continue that focus.
How do you approach the investments that you make, and you mentioned this a couple of minutes ago, on marketing and lead generation, because you do spend money in these areas, so how do you go about it?
Well, what we first look at is metropolitan areas. Is there a lot of movement with jobs? So big states for us are Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, obviously where I live, Arizona, California, but we look at first, is there job markets there? Are there jobs? Then we look at, is there a lot of real estate branches or partners that we can partner up with first, and then we look at where the lead volume is. So typically it is going to, kind of cling to the metropolitan bigger cities. And that's kind of where our plan is. Whenever we go to a new state, that's how we start.
Take me back a bit and tell me how you first came to this decision to have your focus be on purchase business.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that. It was back in the 2007, 8, 9, when the market tanked and everything was chaos. I was actually at Wells Fargo Bank then, and they were a big servicer. So there's refi, and then it kind of stopped. And that was my moment of, I had friends in the business that were still doing well, purchase. And that was my moment. I said, from now on, we are purchase. Refi, we handle past clients, friends, family, all of our sphere, but we are a purchase-driven team moving forward because we won't have the ups and downs like the refi market.
A purchase-driven team, but not a traditional call center. How does that work?
Yeah, so between me and my management staff, we have over 80 years of being in the loan industry, and we're not just a call center. Our loan officers train from the start to finish, and they know all of our products. It's not where it's kind of like a rocket call center where you'll talk to one person and you don't talk to them again because they open the application. That's not how it works. Our loan officer takes it from start to finish.
You play the long game with leads, and we've heard from some of the speakers today here at UWM Live about leads. What do you think is a reasonable amount of time to expect a return on a lead, Tim?
Well, in purchase, it's going to be different, obviously, than refinance. We talk about all the time that purchase is long play versus instant gratification, which refinance is kind of like that. In leads for purchase, I'd say 3 to 4 months, but you have to go through that 3-4 month round knowing you're spending for the future, but you may not get return yet. So
how did you get to the point in your career where you were okay with that, where you said, okay, I'm going to do this now, I'm going to plant this seed now, but I may not see anything start to grow for another 3, 4, 6 months?
It's not an easy feat to think about or do. We just discussed with the team for many years prior, and you can either be super conservative and hope for the best and wait, or you can make your journey and make it. And so we just said we're all in, and it changed, and everything started to come into place once we did that. I went all in on it. So
all right, you are hyper focused on impressing your real estate agents, and I want you to take us through a couple of the ways that you do that.
Yeah, my real estate agents, obviously we are big tech, so we're always trying new things. We obviously want to master them, but we push a lot of new technology with our LOS point of sale and show them like when our point of sale that we use, they can actually update pre-qual letters for clients, and they don't have to bother us at 8 at night, or if they're writing offers at midnight on a Sunday, they can have confidence that they can do that. So we show them with technology, the follow-up and consistent communication, and then a centralized piece of a call center in a sense where if they have a problem or an escalation, they can call one number, it goes to everybody. So they're never left in the dark if someone's on vacation or with their kids. There's always somebody there for them.
I started by asking you about the transition from retail to wholesale. What I didn't ask you is why now was the time. So tell us, Tim, why did you decide to make this move now?
The number one thing that me and my right hand talked about was scaling. So when 2021-20 happened, now I don't think rates are going to get that low again, but when it happened like that, we didn't have enough operations. We couldn't keep up quickly enough, so we had to overpay, we had to find people, and now I just feel like the sense of the market's going to level out in the next 3 to 6 months, and I wanted to be able to still scale without having to take on all of that. And this was an option that was extremely appealing, and it has been now that I can scale without having to deal with all that extra overhead.
All right, since you're brand new, I got to ask you, this is your first event as a member of the Broker Channel. What do you think about it?
Love it. I love the energy. And I'm not a morning guy, and you get up in the morning here and the energy's already off the charts. So love the energy, love the vibes. It's been good so far.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. We are so glad that you're a part of Team Broker, and we look forward to lots more success from you and the Potempa team for years to come. Tim Potempa with the Potempa team and eMortgage Capital. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
Good Better Broker continues from UWM Live 2024 as we bring in Bryce Bradley, the president and CEO of Rosegate Mortgage in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bryce, great to see you.
Justin, thanks for having me, man. Good
Well,
to see you as
I know that you're not a UWM Live rookie, but I gotta ask you, what do you think of this atmosphere we have?
Unbelievable. I came last year for the first time, had a blast, had to come back, and already getting better. So Matt brought the heat earlier, excited to hear what else is to come this afternoon, and always good to network with great people from all around the country.
As the leader of a company, how valuable do you find opportunities like this? I know you've got some members of your team here with you, but to be able to be in the same room with so many like-minded people from around the country, what can you say about the experience this provides, not just for yourself, but for your team?
Well, I was bragging on Matt earlier. I mean, just being able to energize a group of thousands of folks from around the country, from all different walks of life, come here, get rejuvenated, good people, learn. Knowledge is power in this business. We were talking about that earlier, and you can always pick up on a couple of key items to take back home with you. So it's just been fantastic.
All right, let's talk a little bit about you and your business. You started Rosegate back in 2020. You're big on helping LOs who have no previous experience in the business. How do you, Bryce, describe the identity of your company?
Yeah, so it's the people that make it. I always say Rosegate's nothing more than its people. So my job is twofold. Always make sure Rosegate's the best place to get a mortgage, and then the best place to work. And as long as we hire the right people, the rest will fall into place. So I'm in the talent gathering business and just try and love on our team and support them, challenge them as much as we possibly can. So trying to find the right balance to make everybody as successful as they can be.
So what makes somebody the right fit for Rosegate? What characteristics are you looking for?
Yeah, the big three, and I stole this from Warren Buffett, so it is not mine.
Not a bad guy to learn from.
Smart, honest, and driven. Smart, honest, and driven. And in our business, it really helps if you have a network. And if people kind of already trust you and know who you are, then you're kind of able to get out of the gate a little bit faster.
It's interesting you bring up the network, because I believe it was Skylar Welch this morning. She was talking about, your sphere of influence and how much opportunity is out there. I mean, when you hear that and think about all of the different opportunities that aren't being capitalized on within your sphere of influence, what comes to mind?
Yeah, it's I'm a big fan of Ninja Selling, and if you've not read Ninja Selling, please go read it. It's written for real estate agents, but you can take that information and apply it as a loan officer, and it takes the pressure off, because you really shouldn't look at agents or financial advisors or even people as targets, but everybody needs a home loan. Like Matt was talking about earlier, you don't want a mortgage, you need a mortgage, you really want the house. So if everybody knows what you do and they know, like, and trust you, then they should call you when they need a mortgage. So staying top of mind, critical, stay in flow, frequency of interaction with people, and would highly encourage folks to go read Ninja Selling. Help me out a lot. It's a requirement at Rosegate, and our team swears by it.
All right, speaking of your requirements, I want to ask you what else you do to help prepare your LOs for success, because obviously you want them to leverage their network, but what else are you focused on in terms of training?
Sure. So we're purchase money heavy. So we believe folks are always going to continue to buy and sell houses. Refis come and go, hopefully coming back soon. But in doing so, we do a full in-depth training. We like hiring people with no experience, help train them up the right way. No bad habits is what we like to say. But really a big ticket item is calling the buying agent and calling the selling agent every week, and the transaction coordinator, dominating that experience so they know that we're set to close on time. And we put together kind of what we call our domination tracker. So how to turn one deal into 4 future referral deals just by doing a bang up job on that one opportunity. And they're hard to get up front, but once you start getting a little traction, right, you should be able to pour some gasoline on the fire.
All right, this is a buzz phrase in this industry, revenue producing activities.
Yeah.
And it's all well and good to have those, but you're a big believer in preparing yourself for those revenue producing activities.
Yeah, you have to be intentional in what you're doing. You have to have a plan. And something that my dad taught me, and we actually started the company together. He's been in the business a long time, but serial entrepreneur, has formed a lot of good habits over the years. Something he taught me is just put your to-do list together the night before. Just something small, because then you're going to bed and you're trying to think about what do I have to do tomorrow. You go in the morning, you fix your coffee, you say, all right, where do I get started today? No, that should happen the night before. So be intentional, put your to-do list together the night before, and then you come in ready to go and you can hit it. You can be much more efficient that way. And oftentimes, you add to it throughout the day for your to-do list for the next day, and you're always living in the future a little bit. And you'll know what your revenue producing activities are based upon where you're finding success. But a big part of that, saying yes to things, getting out there, making sure everybody that knows that you do home loans.
I'm glad you brought up efficiency, because it's great to meet with people face to face like you and I are doing right now, and like so many other people are doing in this room, but it doesn't always work out that way. And you told me that's okay, because you can do things remotely and still accomplish your goal.
Yeah, if you can meet face to face, that's critical. So I always say, once you've met somebody, like we've met, we know each other. We can text, we can call, we can email, and you should be able to have a follow-up meeting, or they should pick up your next phone call because you've met. We're all human. So I think it's folks try to meet just to meet. You don't need that. And at the end of the day, if you're not adding value through that meeting with an agent you've met with 3 times, they're not going to want to meet with you anymore. They might not even want to answer your call next time. So being intentional with that first meeting, just leave a good impression, right? Make sure that they like you, you're not annoying, you're not just trying to sell them. And then when you follow, it's all in the follow-up thereafter. You can do so, over a phone call or a video meeting or what have you, but you can get creative with your touch points thereafter. But I really believe in face-to-face interaction is a great starting point. And if you've not met somebody, it's going to be tough to drive a true partnership with that individual.
Bryce, you want your LOs to have 50 plus interactions per week.
Correct.
How do they do it?
Correct. Well, you can do it in a one-off situation like this, or, go do life with people that have common interests as you. So, for instance, one of our top producing or top referral partners is a real estate agent back in Charlotte. He loves going on bike rides. So he actually formed a bike riding group, and it's up to like 25 folks. So he has 25 interactions at one time every week. So he's already halfway there. So you don't have to go and field 50 meetings a week. Nobody can do that. But find a way to get creative, go to networking events for things that you're actually interested in, and do business with people that have common interests as you. It's more fun that way, and I've found you typically get more traction, higher conversion.
Question is, have you been to this cycling group?
I've not, absolutely.
Because I was going to ask you,
No.
are you pedaling furiously to get to the front so you can have the best chance at some one-on-one time with this realtor?
Absolutely not, no. So our production leader, Joey Fleming, might be. He loves to ride, shout out Joey. But I'm more of a 1 mile on the treadmill to warm up my workout kind of guy if I ever get to the gym.
All right, probably safer that way anyway.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Always great to see you, Bryce. Continued success to you and the rest of the team at Rosegate. Bryce Bradley, President and CEO of Rosegate Mortgage. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Justin. Good to see you.
here on Good Better Broker at UWM Live 2024 as we welcome in Faris Tadros. He is the CEO of Next Chapter Financial based here in Metro Detroit. Faris, great to see you, my man.
Thanks for having me, Justin.
So I got to ask you, UWM Live, you've experienced the first half of the day. What are your thoughts so far?
So far, exciting. Matt really knows how to keep the crowd alive. Every time we leave, I feel like we're generally like, okay, I need to get back to work. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. So I love that. I love coming here and getting motivated to keep it moving.
As a former retail LO, what comes to mind for you when you come to an event like this and you see so many independent mortgage brokers from around the country together?
You know, something that I take away every single time is the camaraderie. You know, no, we don't look at each other as competition, and everybody's open to sharing secrets, best practices, and I absolutely love that. In retail, you just feel like you're a number. On the broker community, you generally don't feel that way.
All right, 9 years for you in the industry now, and Faris, really where you separate yourself is post-closing. So tell our listeners, how do you do it?
Correct. So we're very systematic and what's the word I want to look for? Purposeful in our approach. So post-closing, we actually send out gifts to our clients, co-branded between us and our realtor partners every 3 months for the first year. So we keep our process simple and consistent. The first week of every month, our gifts are being sent out, so our realtors can follow up, because we all know realtors don't do a great job at that, post-closing, and keep that referral base going. We're generating, with our partnership with UWM, roughly 1 to 2 referrals per closing.
When you first started doing this, I'm curious, what kind of feedback were you getting from your realtor partners when their client would also get a gift from them in addition to you?
Yeah, correct. So at first they were kind of shocked, like, hey, I didn't know you were sending anything. And I'm like, yeah, I told you, you're part of our gold program. We are going to keep you in front of our clients for as long as we can. We got to help you generate that additional business because we're doing our part, so we're going to make sure you're doing your part as well. And then we set that expectation. We want you following up every 3 months. So we send them a reminder like, hey, it's been 3 months since our closing. Call so-and-so, call John Doe. They just got a gift from you.
So not only is it an opportunity for you to stay in front of your clients, it's also an opportunity, in a sense, for you to coach your referral partners on the way they should be following up with the clients.
Correct. It's something that's important is, you're guiding these agents. As much as I love some of these brokerages that are out there, there's not that much guidance after they get to a certain point. So they always need, I don't want to say they're handheld, because that's not what I mean, but they always need that extra hand, that extra push to make sure they're doing the right things.
So over the course of time, how would you describe the way this has impacted your relationships with your realtor partners?
It's been fantastic. We really can set ourselves apart. So when we talk to a new agent, we tell them, hey, this is what we do. Everybody's going to call you and talk about closing fast and having great pricing. Well, that's not really attractive anymore. We help them build their brand and build their network.
Everybody talks about providing value, whether it's for your referral partner or for your client. What are you doing at Next Chapter Financial to provide value for your realtors?
I love that question. We provide a lot of guidance, so we're part of the process every step of the way, whether it's pre-approval, whether it's contract negotiations, and then obviously our post-closing coaching and follow-up. We make sure that our realtors we really hope that they're never forgotten.
You used the word purposeful earlier. Another word I would use to describe your approach is intentional. And that brings me to the networking events that you set up. Tell us about those.
So we try to help our realtor partners grow, especially the ones that have their own teams. So, for example, we set up a networking event where we showcase one of our realtors. He spoke about his best practices. He spoke about some of the things that has helped him grow, and we gear it around there. So one, it showcases our realtors. It brings more realtors in the door, and it just helps everybody kind of cohesively grow.
And you've got a Father's Day event coming up. That
Correct.
one is specifically geared towards the men out there.
Correct. We just finished we had a beautiful Mother's Day event yesterday. About 20 realtor partners came and enjoyed some brunch. We're going to do a Father's Day one here in June. We're calling it Babas and Bourbon. So we're going to have a cigar roller. We're going to have bourbon tasting. Kind of just enjoy each other's company as just professional men in the industry.
It's great. I might have to swing by.
Please.
It's one thing to have the event. It's another thing to let people know that you had the event. Mm-hmm. Speak to that and the importance of posting about it on social.
So social media is something that it's constant work, and we're trying to always be better. I actually brought on somebody full time to help with social media, but it's very important. Brand awareness, company awareness, things that we're doing for our partners and for the community. We're doing some things for the community that are fantastic. And not that we want to brag, but we also want to show this is what we do. This is what we're about. This is where our values are. So it's very important.
You kind of had a lighthearted laugh about bringing somebody on to help with this, because I know a lot of our clients struggle with letting go and delegating.
Yes.
Tell us about that journey for you and how you've gotten to the point where you need to be okay with letting other people handle some of the responsibilities for the business.
That's a great question, Justin. So something that I'm very blessed that I understand where my weaknesses are. So when it came to delegating my social media, I knew I was bad at it. So hiring that person, the biggest pill to swallow was just additional payroll. But at the end of the day, I knew it was important for our business and to grow. But delegating, it has to be done, or you're just going to be stuck in the same spot forever.
Last thing I got for you, and it's been talked about today that, we're still at a challenging point in the market, but that doesn't mean you can just sit back and wait for it to come to you.
Correct.
What are you doing to get ready for when rates do inevitably go down?
So we're always looking for strategic partners, whether they're loan officers, realtors, processors, so on and so forth. So we're kind of just always keeping our ear to the ground to see who we can bring on board to help when the time comes. Don't want to get caught with our pants down, as they say. So we want to make sure we're available. So our processes are actually inflated. I've been eating payroll, if you will, for the last year and a half in anticipation of the growth. And you know what? This month we're having a phenomenal month. It's going to be the best month of our company's career. So we're really excited about it.
Well, we hope that just continues for you guys. And we really appreciate you joining us. You are just laser focused on success, and you're doing all the right things to make it happen. So keep up the great work. Faris Tadros from Next Chapter Financial, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Justin.
Welcome back to Good Better Broker at UWM Live 2024. We are with Stacey Melton. She is a mortgage broker with Reese Financial in Phoenix, Arizona. Stacey, great to see you.
Great to see you, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So what do you think of UWM Live?
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. I love the energy. I love the networking, seeing familiar faces, meeting new faces, all the little nuggets that you learn from every session. It's just been amazing.
So you started Reese Financial in February 2023, so the company is just over a year old now. Before that, 15 plus years in retail. So I got to ask you, being at an event like this with all these independent mortgage professionals from around the country, having come from retail, what is that like?
Well, I wish I had done it a lot sooner. I think everybody probably says that, right? It's such a different experience. When you're in the retail world, you're just kind of a number to everybody. You and I have spoken about this before. It's just, bring in the business. And when you're in the broker world, you're the customer. I mean, everyone just wants to help you succeed, help you dominate your experiences, and it's completely different. I mean, they're just night and day. The comparisons are, I could list, 20 different things that we could go through, but I think it's really just my experience from the account execs to the processors to the underwriters. It just really is a complete different experience.
Yeah, to learn more about Stacey's journey from retail to wholesale, be sure you check out her success story on our website, beamortgagebroker.com. Shameless plug over. Now we move on with this interview, Stacey. You are partnered with a real estate company that has over 200 agents. Describe for us what that relationship is like.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's challenging, obviously. The pressure is more so because my team really has to be on, right? These agents are going to talk to one another. They're going to express good things and bad things. And so that's why I say, you really have to be on in every transaction and make sure that we're providing that service to the real estate agent and to the consumer. So there's a little more pressure there, but it's also very rewarding. It's a great partnership. We do a lot of events together for the community and just really try to do everything that we can for the Phoenix area.
How do you go about determining which of your LOs is the best fit for the different real estate partners in the company?
Yeah, sometimes, Justin, it's geographic, just based on where they're at. Sometimes it's cultural. So, for example, we have bilingual loan officers, and obviously that's an easy pairing. And then sometimes it's just personalities. We are all different in this business, and I think that that's what makes us unique and what drives us in our business is being different. We've got people who talk fast like me. We've got people who move at a slower pace, and I think I just find that personality and try to match them up to that person that I think that they're going to be able to work the best with and also create that great team, that great power partnership, so that they can give that agent and that client the best experience.
You led me right to it. I am such an English geek. I love alliteration, and you mentioned power partnership, Stacey.
Yeah.
What is your definition of that?
Power partnership to me is that unified front where you and that real estate agent know each other inside and out. I mean, you know how each other works, you know their communication style. Every agent has different communication styles, and you have to be able to adapt to that. You know, you kind of have to be a chameleon, I guess, so to speak, and make sure that you're communicating with that person the way they want to be communicated with, and that you have each other's back. You know, when things happen, there's no finger pointing. It's how do we move together? How do we go into solution focused and look for that win-win to have the best outcome for everybody in the transaction?
You told me that you are the first point of contact for your agents no matter what. Tell us how you have established this kind of dynamic.
So I've actually been working with this particular team since 2018. So I've kind of been the face, if you will, of their lending power partner, both in the retail side and then now in the broker side. So they just kind of know, like, Stacey's the go-to, and they come to me first with any ideas, good, bad, issues, things like that. So I've just built that. I built my business on that of just saying, hey, what is it going to take? What do you need? What can we do to help you?
I asked you about the impact for you and the company on becoming a broker. What has been the impact in your mind for your realtor partners now that they work with you as a wholesale LO?
Yeah, it's been great. They absolutely love it because we have options for their clients, right? We live in a world where people want options. They want faster, easier, better, cheaper. You know, we hear that all the time in the broker world, especially here at UWM Live. We've heard it all morning, and that's what agents want, and that's what consumers want. And so being a broker and having options to them, you know, it's not just every loan doesn't fit into one box. And so, unfortunately, in the retail world, you had one box that you tried to get everybody to fit into. And in the broker world, I can find the box that fits that person's loan. And so it's giving them options and saving them money while dominating the experience for them.
Another way that you are in lockstep with your realtor partners is your CRM is fully integrated with your realtors. How does this help?
Yeah, it is. So our primary CRM is one that is web-based. So it's great. We can use it from anywhere. What I love about it, what the realtors love about it, is it eliminates them having to track us down to find out what's going on. It's real-time notes. It's real-time information. Everything's logged in there. So if I put a note in, that real estate agent is going to get it instantaneously. So again, I talked about, you know, we live in a world with, we want things faster and easier. So they can be out showing property, they can be in a closing, they can be handing off keys, and they're going to get the notes right away on what's going on with their next client.
I mean, how many times have we heard it? Real estate agents get frustrated with mortgage people because of a lack of communication. You're basically delivering the communication to them automatically.
Instantaneous. Yeah, as soon as we put the note in and they're tagged in it, they get a notification on their phone. I mean, I've been sitting with agents when I'm showing them how to use the system, and I do that test with them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this test note in, and they're like, oh my gosh, I just got it right now. So I can be out, again, showing a property, and I already know what I need to get ready for my next client for the next day.
It's
a game changer.
Smart. I love that, and I hope that people are going to pay attention to that. You actually told me this dovetails into something else you told me, that your process itself provides value. I know that what we just covered is part of that, but what else comes to mind when you think about your process and how that does deliver value for your referral partners?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Reezy Financial, we do things a little different. We do lending consultations. So it's not just like a pre-qualification, checking a bunch of boxes. We do a full lending consultation, and a lot of times that's done over Zoom. We want to make that connection with the consumer. We don't want to just be that voice on the other end of the phone that they never get to see in person. We want to just, connect with them so that they're seeing who we are. I love doing Zooms from my home office, and I literally say to my clients, I'm inviting you into my home. Like, welcome to my home. This is the mortgage person that you're working with. And it's really changed everything that we're doing. It's really changed our lead conversion. Clients don't want to leave us because they feel that connection with us. So outside of the great service we've always provided, it's just that next level of, now it's not just great service, but they feel that connection to us because they feel like they've met us now.
You actually brand yourself as a mortgage consultant as opposed to a loan originator or a loan officer or even a broker. Why is that important, Stacey?
We do. So again, anyone can originate a loan, and our job is not easy, right? Originators, it is tough. But a mortgage consultant isn't, like I said, not just checking a bunch of boxes. We're doing an in-depth lending consultation with that client to find out short-term, long-term real estate goals. Are they looking to create generational wealth? Are they just buying one home and they're not interested in that at all? So it's that whole consultation about what's the best use of the funds. It's not always putting $200,000 down when they have credit card debt and car loans. So it's just a true, full financial mortgage consultation with them.
There was a lot of conversation in the panels this morning, in the sessions this morning, I should say, about leads and lead generation. And I always love asking experienced LOs about this. How do you approach follow-up with your leads?
Yeah, so we do have a process. Depending on where the lead came from and how much contact or communication we've had with them, the process can change. But in a nutshell, Justin, we follow up with that lead until they tell us to pound sand. Because if you don't, you're not on the top of mind, right? And it's all about staying on top of mind. And we're in sales for a reason, right? So we're not annoying, but we do stay on top of them just to let them know that we're there. We want to be a resource and we want to provide value and answers for them.
You can't worry about bugging somebody too much. You just can't, right?
You can't. No, you absolutely can't. Because again, sometimes it's not that people don't want to talk to you. It's that they're embarrassed. Like they might have credit issues or they might have other things going on. And so when you stay on top of it and you just constantly say, hey, like I'm just here for you. And it's not just that, hey, do you have any questions? It's, hey, where are you at in the process? Is there something that's hindering you from talking to me? That's a door opener, right? That's not just I'm checking in. That opens the door where somebody might be comfortable to say, well, I have some credit challenges, or I have a new job, or I'm worried about my down payment. Hey, that's great. Let's talk about that. Let me help you. Let's put some numbers together and see where we go from here.
It's also, I would think that it's out of sight, out of mind. And, we're all being pulled in so many different directions. Maybe you reached out to somebody and they didn't get back to you. It's not because you're not important to them. It's because they have 10,000 other things that they're currently dealing with.
Absolutely. And sometimes that does happen. I mean, I can reach out to somebody 4 times and all of a sudden they go, oh my gosh, thank you for not giving up on me. Life has been busy. My kids have had sports. It's been the holidays. It's been this, that. Thanks for continuing to reach out to me. And so that's always a great feeling because you're letting them know, hey, this is what it's like to work with me. I'm going to be there. I'm going to, hold your hand every step of the way. I'm going to make sure that you get your questions answered. I'm here for the long haul.
Well, from hearing about your journey from retail to broker to all the great things you are doing with your business and for your referral partners, it's just awesome to see all the success you're having. So keep up the great work. It's always great to see you. Stacey Melton from Reese Financial, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Justin. Great to see you.
Thank you for watching Good Better Broker and helping us support independent mortgage brokers everywhere. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified about new videos, as well as your preferred podcast platform for a new episode every other Tuesday.